Okay, so we've now had a look at whereabouts on the stick we're going to hold and apply our grip. We've also discussed why we do that, so now we come on to the all-important section, of course, is how we actually do that. Now this is going to be looking at, first of all, the fingers and how we apply the fingers to the stick. Okay, now, many years ago, kind of probably pre-50s, a lot of drummers were playing with just the thumb and the forefinger, this fulcrum here. Now, obviously, like I said at the beginning of the DVD, that's not wrong at all. This is just me giving you my experience. However, a little bit later on, the technique evolved to use this second finger. And the reason was that if we use just our first finger and thumb, what we find is when we're moving the full arc of the stick like this, you find that it's not overly controlled, especially if you're not moving your back fingers. So you don't get quite so much control, okay? Get a slightly wobbly stick. So what happened was we started to bring in our second finger. Now what this allowed us to do was, again, if we're looking at the arc of movement, as the stick comes back, we're getting slightly, if I remove these two control fingers, even with these two, I'm still getting a little bit more control, okay? The second finger is allowing me to manipulate the stick slightly and still keep a nice relaxed fulcrum, a nice relaxed grip. Now, Dave Weckl in his video refers to this as the triangle, as you can see here. Okay, so that's pretty much our grip here. You've got to remember, as before, we are using a natural position of the hand. We're keeping everything nice and relaxed so that when we do strike the drum, the freedom and rebound of the stick is full, and we can control how much of that rebound we require. Okay, a couple of important points about our grip. Okay, we need to make sure that we use our control fingers at the back. This is going to give us our stability, and it's also going to perform three important tasks. Firstly, we can use these control fingers as brakes, as in car brakes. So if we want to stop the stick and basically interrupt the arc of movement, we can do so by snapping the fingers. Very straightforward. Okay. If we struck the drum and we want to lift it back up and stop the stick, same thing applies. You see how I strike the drum and snap the back fingers in to stop any further movement. Okay. Again, it's keeping relaxed. I'm not snapping and shutting down and being really tight like this. I'm just allowing the stick to bounce and then allowing those back fingers there to pull the stick into the palm of my hand. It's exactly the same action if we want to use it for the second reason, which is the snap. Okay, this is where we would do the same motion, but we actually want to strike the drum. Like that, okay? Basically we're doing the same thing, we're striking the drum, okay, but as we are pulling the snap up, we're allowing the tip to also strike the drum again. Trying to get into slow motion for you, as it were. Again, quite hard to do that, physically make that slow. But if I try and lean over and this way and give you an idea, the stick is coming down as such, okay? It rebounds, okay? Now the fingers at the back are allowing the stick to move here, but I'm now snapping these fingers in and allowing the stick to hit the drum, and then it rebounds back up. So that's the idea. Generally, the third one is like a general point. The back fingers control the arc of movement. They control it as basically as much as you can extend your fingers. So you can allow the stick to come actually right up to here. I mean, that is the idea. If we take it to the extreme, that's the idea. The stick's coming right up, and the last two control fingers here are actually, controlling the stick. Okay. Try not to do that when you're playing. So that's the idea there. Okay. So that snap then, or the break as it were, can be applied at any point in the last little section that I want to tell you about here, the last bit of advice as it were, is about the relaxation and how to keep your hand here, how to keep this gap open. If you notice, there is this gap between the thumb and the first finger. This is because the hand is relaxed. Basically, if I grip the stick too hard and pull the stick into the hand, you can see straight away there's a lot of strain. There's absolutely no movement of the stick at all. I know we are taking this to extremes, but this gives you an idea. If we roll out the stick to the first knuckles, it completely relaxes the hand and relaxes the grip. If I bring my forearm into shot here, again, if I grip, you can see here there's tension. If I roll that stick out, you see how much that relaxes. The whole posture relaxes. Okay, so when you keep your hand nice and relaxed like this, as we discussed before, it allows you to keep a nice free movement of the stick, so you can control it as you want to. A note about these knuckles, okay, what I refer to the knuckles is, the first knuckles is the first crease along the fingers here, okay, and the second knuckle I refer to is the second crease along your fingers here. So the stick should be rolling out to there, okay, that's pretty much second knuckle, okay. Do be careful as well that, although you're keeping relaxed, don't allow the stick to end up here, okay, you don't want that at all, you're losing all the fulcrum, okay, and again be careful it doesn't slip up and you end up in this position where you're gripping between the second knuckle, okay, instead of the first, okay. You may find as you get to play this stroke and the hand's going back to this position, okay, if ever you go that far back to strike, that sometimes looks as though the grip, okay, is between the thumb and the second knuckle. It isn't. Although it looks like that, the grip is still here. It's still between the first knuckle and the thumb. Okay, so you always know if you're relaxed because you've got this gap here between your thumb and your first finger.